everyone, I'm Rosie and this is Flying Flusky. And we can you and me together. And we can you and me forever. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if not, my name's Rosie. I'm 5 foot tall and my last weigh-in was 132 pounds. Stay tuned to see how that's gone. I am on tirzepatide, known here in the UK as Mounjaro and over in the States as Mounjaro and Zepbound. If you don't already know, it is a GLP-1 agonist, which works in a variety of ways, including helping you feel fuller for longer, helping you feel not hungry at all sometimes, and the GIP helps stabilize blood sugar and does some very funny things to my brain. If you don't already know, President Trump in the USA is bringing forward something called the Favored Nations Bill, which is all about bringing drug prices in the US in line with other developed nations. I am all for this if it's used in the right way. I think the prices of medication in the US are abhorrent. I think it's terrible there that people cannot afford life-saving medications. I remember seeing Sicko years ago and a woman in absolute floods of tears in Cuba because she could finally afford her asthma inhalers. Obviously, we have the NHS, we have universal healthcare, so we're in a very different position than the insurance game they have to play in the US, but it's always seemed wildly unfair to me. Dave Ricks, the CEO of Eli Lilly, agrees with me. He thinks that drug prices in the US are crazy, especially when compared to the EU. However, what he has done with, I think, that probably their most profitable drug at the moment, Mounjaro, is instead of lowering prices in the US, he's raised them here to give them a different benchmark of what equal pricing would look like. I get they're a business, I get they're trying to protect their profits and please the investors, but they are on track. I think they said they made like over $5 billion in the last quarter. So in theory, that's 20 billion, 21 billion profits this year. So I feel like they could start with the nicer side of doing it rather than padding their pockets from our end, mostly because we're not used to paying those kind of prices for medication. And I think it's just going to turn a lot of people off Mounjaro and they'll be switching to Wegovy / Ozempic because it's not just going to be a little bit cheaper, it's going to be a lot cheaper. We negotiate as a country, which means the NHS, being a huge player, has some impact on the negotiations. So that is why we had it quite good for quite a while. Happily, I believe the NHS is not going to have the price increase. It's just private pharmacies, which means consumers like you and I are the ones that are going to be footing the bill. I was tempted to make a video when it was announced, but partly I really had no idea what I was going to do, so there kind of felt like there wasn't much point in making the video without any kind of answer, and partly because I was kind of hoping by the time this one came out we would have a better understanding of what the prices are actually going to look like for consumers. The list price for the highest dose, they say, is going up 170%. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the pharmacies are going to be charging that much. They might take a little pocket hit. We have yet to find out still. Lots of pharmacies are selling through their stock at the current price or promising a price freeze. Mine is saying that my next order will be at the current price. Annoyingly, that's in like 3 days anyway, so it wouldn't have made a difference because it wasn't in September. I'm still working with Juniper, so technically they are still paying for my Mounjaro. So I'm sticking with Mounjaro for now. Probably because I am enjoying the familiarity of it. I've also heard it described as kind of Mounjaro is like cutting through a safe door with one of those blow torches that's really precise. And Ozempic or Wegovy is more like going at it with a battering ram. It's more like a blunt object. So I'm going to stick with what I know, and when the Juniper deal ends, then maybe I'll look at switching if I need to. So with all that said, let's return to business as normal. Any side effects and how am I feeling? If you saw my video 2 weeks ago, then honestly I'm feeling much the same. The hair loss is continuing and it's horrifying. It's getting to the point where I'm kind of putting off brushing my hair just because I don't want to see so much come out every time. I'm still taking biotin and collagen and my multivitamin, so I'm doing everything I can. I'm not using my blonde shampoo because I know that's probably not as good as just the regular one, and I'm deep conditioning as well. But honestly, I think it's coming from within rather than what I'm doing with my hair. So I'm just hoping that this phase ends soon because it is a little depressing. The fatigue is strong. So the other day I was at work and I think my body kind of caught up with that and I just faded into oblivion. I don't know what happened. I didn't faint, but I was dizzy. I cried a lot. I was just completely and utterly wiped out, like completely wiped out, to the point where my supervisors sent me home because I just couldn't pull myself together. I stopped crying, but I was pale and every customer interaction was hard work. So they sent me home and then began the great refeed. And I ate 3/4 of a takeaway pizza, like a thin crust, like a nice one from ZZ, not like a guilty pleasure one. And then I just continue to try and eat as much as possible, basically, because I was thinking maybe I just haven't eaten enough and my body is just completely rebelled. I don't know. I am still struggling with motivation in a big way. I'm still very tired. So yeah, I'm still hoping that I'm coming out the other side of it and that I feel much better in the coming weeks. But that remains to be seen, and I'll keep you posted. Week 17, over the weekend, I don't know if you remember, but I was talking about going to the Bristol Balloon Fiesta. I was surprised at how strong my food suppression was over the weekend, and it was a real struggle to want to eat. We were due to fly in our balloon on the Saturday afternoon, but the wind, it was really, really strong, to the point where we were up a tower in the middle of Bristol and getting blown to bits. So that didn't happen. I still live in fear of having a bad tummy after I've eaten something, partly from Mounjaro, even though that hasn't been the case for maybe a month. But also I had kind of IBS style tummy before this anyway. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat anything until we've flown. And the second they officially cancelled it, I was like, right, let's get some food. But we were at the Balloon Fiesta, and it was another occasion where it was all kind of food trucks with greasy options. And I was like, I really don't want a greasy burger. I really don't want fried chicken. I mean, when it's only Portaloos, we've got to be a little bit careful about what we're eating, right? I got a barbecue pork bao bun on one of the days, which was delicious. And then a cheese and ham crepe with chili jam, which was also very good. I was eating the top of it. And with a crepe, everything good slides down to the bottom. And I was starting to feel full. So I was like, if I don't get through this crepe, all the best stuff's in the bottom. So I started kind of ripping the paper holder and eating it from the bottom like a kid sucking the ice cream through a cone. I'm sure it looked really classy. I did have a couple of glasses of cider over the weekend. At the fiesta itself, they were serving Thatcher's, which is quite a big cider brand here in the UK, but they did have some like more scrumpy style, stronger cider, so I had a half pint of that as well. On the Sunday, my friend is vegan and she'd found a pub that did a vegan roast, so we went for a roast dinner. But when we got there, my food suppression was still like peak. And I was thinking, I'm not paying for a whole roast dinner that I can't eat. So I just got one of the starters, which was pulled pork croquettes with a really zingy sauce, like it was like minted cucumber and something tangy sauce. The sauce was delicious. The croquettes were very disappointing, but you know what? I paid for them, so I ate them. But that left me totally full. Like that week, the food suppression was strong. Might look a little bit different this week as I'm filming on my phone. Yes, the footage was shaky. I tried to clear it up in post, but it didn't fix all of it. I have an Osmo Pocket 3, which I've mostly been used for filming. And the gimbal, I don't know, it's just... You can't see it with the naked eye, really, but yeah, it's getting more and more obvious on the footage. So I've had to package that up and send it back to DJI this morning, actually. So hopefully they can fix it or sort me out with a replacement. So we are rolling with the mobile phone today. The weird and wonderful thing, I thought that I wouldn't be able to listen to anything at the same time as I am filming, but I think I am. And hopefully this isn't talked over by the podcast I'm listening to. But we'll find out. I'm still on my 5mg pen. Well, I felt that one even if I didn't see it. It's a lovely warm day out today, so I'm wearing a skirt, but that does mean that I have to whip it up to inject, so I will sit down out of shot to do this. That wasn't bad today, but then to be fair, I did get out of the fridge maybe 2 hours ago and kind of forgot that I was meant to be doing my injection. So I better get it back in ASAP, and we'll head back to next week. This week, the food noise has definitely come back somewhat, which slightly concerns me because I've already ordered my next pen, and that is also a 5mg. I don't really have anything to tell other than feeling ill and getting sent home. But like I said, that's when I had most of a pizza. I finished that the following day with some more food. On the Wednesday, which is the day before my jab, I had like protein yogurt with grapes for breakfast, corn chicken nuggets, and most of a pot of hummus for lunch. And then my full like gusto meal for dinner. What was that? Oh, like a fish sushi burrito wrap thing. And I ate all of it. I was having a really hungry day. So yes, the great refeeding that was this week actually seems to have continued a bit. So I took my jab on Thursday. That was yesterday. And I didn't have time to record it. Basically, I got up early, got the pen out of the fridge to let it warm up a little bit. Then I started making my food for work, then completely forgot that the pen was out the fridge, started getting ready for work, thought, oh, I don't know why I have so much time. Took my time, dawdled about, listened to my podcast, watched a couple of YouTube videos, and then realized why I had so much time, and I had like 3 minutes to get it done. I was already in my full work uniform, and I thought, best not record this right now because I need to be gone. Otherwise, I was going to be late. So I thought, having not been able to eat an awful lot over the weekend, although I guess the alcohol bumped up the calories, and adding to that the fact I walked between 26,000 and 30,000 steps for 3 days running, I would have a decent loss for week 17. So at the end of week 17, I weighed in at 131 pounds, which is 9 stone 5 or 59.4 kilograms. I suppose it's nice to have dipped below the 60 kilograms mark, which is why it's good to have 3 different measurements, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed. Weighing daily, obviously, I can see that I'm like 9 stone 4 point blah, 9 stone 5 point blah, 9 stone 4 point blah. And it's averaging out around a pound down from where I was. There's no real peaks or troughs at the moment. It's just tiny weeny steps, which I guess still means I'm going in the right direction. But, one did become accustomed to one's big old losses. Then, after the great refeeding of week 18, I thought that plus the fact that I didn't really get out of bed for 2 days because I felt rotten meant I would have put on some weight. But I weighed in at the end of week 18 at 130 pounds, 9 stone 4, or 58.9 kilograms. Better that than a plateau. It's still encouraging. It's still going in the right direction. Financially, it would be nice if it was faster, but physically, I'm okay with it. I had a horrible moment earlier where I noticed that I have actual bingo wings. I think this is the first time in my life I've had actual bingo wings rather than just what I thought were bingo wings as a teenager. And that brings us to goals for weeks 19 and 20. I've been saying it and saying it and saying it, but I think I really have to take strength training seriously. It's been too easy to let time slip by and not do anything about it. I have felt battered, but I'm hoping that doing a little bit of exercise will have a positive impact on my mood as well as my bingo wings. But I am a bit concerned about losing strength in my upper body because it's not like I'm naturally doing push-ups, whereas I am going for long walks or having days at work where I'll walk like 18 to 20,000 steps. So my legs, I'm not as concerned about, but girl's got to open her own jar. Oh, that being said, that is why I own the thing that I use for Golden Dose, because I've never been able to open jars. So I'm going to be writing myself a little daily planner of things to do because, like I said before, I am doing the things I have to do. It's just when I don't have to do things that I am scrolling Instagram for 5 hours, closing the app, and then immediately reopening the app and continuing to scroll. The last thing I want to say is thank you to everyone who commented on my last video. I am really sorry it took me 2 weeks to reply. The overwhelm was real, and like I said, I've been struggling to do much of anything, but hopefully I've managed to reply to everyone now, and I genuinely appreciate the interaction. It's really nice to know that I'm not just chatting nonsense into the ether. Some other creators have had the same kind of mood dips as I have, like Ginger Goes GLP has done some amazing work. She got on it really quickly and seems to be coming out the other end of it, which is gorgeous to see. And other people have had similar side effects, or do you know what, completely different side effects, and it's just really nice to know that we're in it together. If you're on your own GLP-1 journey, or you're curious about mine, enjoying mine, hate watching mine, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. That's all from me, so whatever you're up to, keep up the good work. Bye.